Samity Samtastic, back with more Guild Wars 2. Those eyes really do look incredibly creepy. I think I went with brown, but they came out looking more black. Anyway, hi! Today we're doing a noob's guide to crafting. My poor cat is stuck in that rock. Come on, kitty, get out of there. It's my battle tabby. So, there are a couple of different options that you have with crafting. You can have two crafting professions simultaneously. And the choices that you have, generally speaking, all of the crafting stations are going to be relatively around one another. But you've got tailoring, which allows you to make light armor, armor smithing, which is heavy armor, jeweling, which allows you to make accessories like earrings and rings and stuff. And then you've got weaponsmith, which lets you make swords and axes and that sort of thing. That's a merchant. Wait, armorsmith. Okay, I'm sorry. The weaponsmith and armorsmith sell you stuff. You don't craft there. Cooking station, leatherworking station, which allows you to make medium armor. Huntsman station, which allows you to make like, bows and guns, and the artificing station, which allows you to make that stuff like wands and staves. And then the weaponsmithing station is used for crafting swords and axes and things. That's what I was thinking of. And the cooking station, I didn't really mention, allows you to make food. And what do I mean when I say food? I mean stuff like this. Bowl of sautéed carrots. So we're going to be looking at a couple of these that I've already worked my way through and just sort of talk about the basic concept. And they've made a number of different changes.
I need an expert blacksmith, and money is no object.
Okay, so you can hear them off over there. Apparently, if they're not in line of sight, then they get really loud. So there's somebody on Reddit that was talking about that. Alright, so they've made a number of different changes to the way that this crafting works, so we're just going to pretend like it's always been this way. So you've got your list of stuff that you can craft, and this will actually pull straight out of your storage when you're looking at these crafting recipes that are here. These are things that are known recipes, and I'm going to have a whole lot more here than you will because I've also been using a lot of the discovery section, and in order to use the discovery section you actually need to have the stuff in your inventory. So each crafting profession is going to have their materials that they're able to use, and you may see like here this bone chip is for the armorsmith, artificer, huntsman, leatherworker, tailor, and weaponsmith. Because I'm a cook, I'm on the cook profession as well as tailoring, then any items that that are related to those will show up in either green or red. And green means that I can use it, red means that it's something that the lowest recipes require me to be a higher level in that profession. And so you can kind of get an idea of what you should be throwing in your inventory in order to do that discovery. So let's go ahead and just grab all of this stuff. Because who doesn't like a bunch of food?
To ripen into evil.
Okay, so there we go. In order to do this, you pretty much need to have unlocked all of your storage slots in order to pull this off. I think I have, yeah, all of my bags are 8 slots, and you can probably upgrade your backpack later. I wish that guy would stop saying it's nice to see me. And that way it'll leave a couple of spaces here in order to create new items. So when you're looking at the discovery station, basically anything that you can use to discover new items are going to show up here. The things that are in red, that means that though those items appear there, they are outside of my level of what I can use with them. So I throw that in there, and the lowest recipe that I have yet to discover with this requires me to have 200 cooking, and I'm only at 195. So we can go ahead and you can just pull those out of your inventory. So what is that? We've got a bottle of soy sauce. We're going to just deposit that one, and then we've got jars of vinegar, which I'm almost there, but we're not going to concern ourselves with it right now, so we'll deposit that. And then we've got black peppercorns and cinnamon sticks. The black peppercorns you can actually use with salt to make packets of salt and pepper. That's a recipe that I discovered a long time ago, and that's going to be under seasoning. You've got a pile of salt and pepper. So not all of these are going to appear, but you can just sort of experiment with them, and I think it's loads of fun to do. You can just sort of guess, like, hey, what sort of stuff, what things should I buy from the merchant in order to try crafting this stuff? And unfortunately, some of the things like butter and a few other items have been taken away from the don't do deposit all collectibles while you're doing this, by the way. I was just wanting to compact. But the whatever this person is that's over here. What is your name? You're the master chef. You used to sell a lot of the items for karma, and they've taken those away, I guess, because people were... It was too easy, who knows. So then you could just throw things in there and say, oh, I can craft these other items, and I apparently need another thing to do this. So you just kind of move down the line with what you can work with, and you can double click on them there and it'll remove them. And so that way you can sort of get a sense of you could just sort of systematically move down the list and see what you can craft. And a lot of these are going to require 4, but not all of them will, because this isn't...
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, this isn't the Mystic Forge. One of the other really fun things about being a chef is that you've got access to dye recipes, and so we could do like an unidentified blue dye because I've got the blueberries and beets that I've saved up, or we could do an orange dye with onions and carrots, and since I have a lot of those, I'm going to go ahead and create a couple. And we'll just make a few dyes, and you can see kind of how those work. It's going to be a dye that's on a certain color spectrum, and both of these are going to be common, that's why their name's in blue. You can also buy these from other players. Ooh, river dye. And you can get them on the trading post pretty easily. Papaya, and you can also one of the parts about experimentation, the discovery, is even if you don't have things that are in here that you can discover, you may say, well, you know, I've got a fruit that I didn't have before, so I'm going to make dough. So you can make a ball of dough, which I actually already did, and then you can come down and you've got strawberry pie. But we can take a look at what other things we might be able to make with this ball of dough, like ginger. Nope. You need to be level 250 to do that.
The moment.
Meat pie. It won't let us do that one because we don't have the ingredients. Cheese pie. Well, it's not necessarily going to be pie, but I'm curious as to what the 4th ingredient was there, because it gives you the option to do that one with butter, dough, and blueberries or apples. So that's one that it's kind of fun and exciting. So I'm wondering what that 4th ingredient is. I'm guessing that strawberries, apples, and blueberries could all go in if I could discover what that 4th ingredient is. But in the meantime, we can just go ahead and make a strawberry pie, which just requires strawberries and dough. There we go. And then once you have that strawberry pie, of which I actually have 16 now, oh, it makes 2 of them when you do that, you can eat those and you gain benefits. Nourishment is good. If you're a chef, you'll pretty much always have food and you can just eat it constantly because it's good stuff. Cinnamon apple is another one that I discovered because I made piles of cinnamon sugar and thought, can I mix this with an apple? It was just a fun part of the discovery. Being a chef is really entertaining, in my opinion. And a lot of the stuff, if you need to make that, you can head over to this guy right here, the master chef, and you can say, hey, I need cooking supplies, and then you have a lot of different choices of things that you can buy. And one of the things that you should keep in mind is very early on in being a chef, you can mix flour, water, and if it's in here, yeast. So you buy like
nice
5 tons, you know, the yeast, these things come in packs of 25, so you'll buy 2 of those, and then you'll buy those flour, and then 5 of the water, and then that's going to land you with, wrong key there. You open up these packs of yeast in bulk, and then you've got 50 of those, and then you've got 50 of the bags of flour, and then 50 of the water, and I had a little bit more to begin with there. But you can immediately take that over to the crafting station really early on, and you can head down and throw those together to make, might actually be up the top, right there. You can make that with butter. Wow, that's a lot of butter that I have. And you can make dough with that and butter. You can make pasta noodles if you've got eggs. And then somewhere along the way is, there it is, loaf of bread, and you just craft all 50. And crafting goes very quickly if you have the materials for it. But that's an example of something you can start off
blacksmith, and money
very early
is no
on
object.
in order to increase your crafting that that doesn't require that you know how to do hardly anything else. And then you can mix that, like if you mix it with a slab of red meat, then it lets you make, let's see, where did it go? Seasoning, snack, soup. It would be under meal. Hamburger is a slab of red meat and a loaf of bread. That was one that I discovered. And then I think you might actually be able to do that with cheese to make a cheeseburger. And so here we go, a new recipe. I made some cheeseburgers, and then we'll go ahead and craft all 14. Oh, cancel. I'm not actually gaining experience from that. So it's just waiting materials to put cheeseburgers in my thing. So discovering new recipes is one of the best ways to increase your crafting profession, and it'll move along a whole lot more quickly if you do that. So yep, we're gonna move on to something that's not cooking now. Okay, now as I'm a tailor, we can head over to the tailoring station, and there we go. What? I was about to do something. Okay, yes, this is right. One of the things that that you can do with tailoring, as well as the leatherworking and armor, is to create bags of, I guess it's not really bags if you're using the metals, but you can make bronze boxes or other different types of boxes. You can make like jute bags. This is from the leather worker, and I made this craftsman's bag right here, which is a really cool item. That is one that crafting materials get dumped directly in it, so if you pick up crafting materials, it dumps those in that bag and will keep them from getting in the way of all your other stuff. And then the invisible bag I really love because say like you have a miniature, when you deposit all collectibles, it won't dump your cat or whatever other miniature you might happen to be running around with. So that's a really nice one to have, and you can see you need to collect a lot of bolts of jute in order to be able to make those, and those aren't recipes that you learn on your own. You actually have to do it through the discovery station. And so when you're doing the crafting for the armor and the weaponsmiths, like pretty much everything but cooking, you're going to need to start out with refinement. And I've got a lot of stuff here. I can't quite work with the wool or the thin leather sections because you need to be level 75 in order to do that. You need to move on up to whatever is not novice. Who knows? And so I still have a couple more levels that I need to gain there, and I could get that by crafting these sorts of things. But one of the best ways to learn crafting is, as I said, to do it through discovery. So I'm going to create these things. They're listed as gray because I can't make them, and basically these are going to be a low amount of experience. These are going to be a high amount of experience, and the red ones are ones you can't make yet. And so I'm going to go ahead and create all my bolts of jute, all my rawhide leather squares. And yeah, this stuff goes through very, very quickly. Early on in your crafting, when you've got a collection of these, you're going to see this number just rocket up through the ceiling. But there's a little bit of a spot between where those stop providing you with experience and where these start. And so at this point, then I need to create new stuff. And since all I have here is tons and tons of bolts of jute, we need to actually go to this section and throw some of the stuff in our inventory. So we're going to go down into the fine crafting materials, and all of the stuff that's listed as tailor, I'm going to go ahead and grab those.
Interesting.
Okay, and as you can see, I've actually got, these are the ones that I just crafted, and then these are the ones that were already in my inventory. So let's go ahead and mash those together. Bing! That's easy enough. And then we can throw that in there, and it turns out that I've still got something that I can make with tiny totems, and I've still got something that I can make with tiny venom sacs. Now, it might require that I have more of those. It says add more compatible ingredients. I don't know what those ingredients are. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm not able to make any more bags. So then I've got to move on to making weapons. And what weapons do I have that I haven't created yet? Let's see. We can... we need a malign embroidered jute insignia, but I don't have the jute thread for that. And so the jute thread you can go get from the master tailor. It's very good to know what supplies these guys will sell. And so we're going to say, give me some of this jute thread. I'll just grab a few of those because you can stash them. And then we can come back here and say, oh, nope. We can come back here and go to the tailoring station, and then we can head down and we can make this vital embroidered jute insignia. And so we've got the malign and the healing, which we're going to go ahead and create a new one with vital. And so we'll craft that. And then what are these made with? The epaulette panel and padding. And so we're going to come up here to the jute epaulette. It's going to be somewhere over here. There we go. I was just looking at all of these, but no, we've got one here, so we'll just craft one, and then we'll craft another. And then we have one of each of those three things that we can't make this one, and we can't make this one, but we can, however, make a new one altogether with this vital insignia that we just created. So we're going to craft that, and you're going to see it kind of knock that right up. We're now almost halfway to 75 from 74. And so then we're just going to repeat that process. We're going to say, that was good. Unfortunately, I'm no longer getting experience from these, so we're going to craft one more of those. We're going to craft one more of the, oh, it's a sliver of experience. And then we've got the vital, the malign, and the healing. So we're going to come back over to, where was it? We're going to go with precise, and we're going to craft one of those precise. And then we're going to throw all those together, and that's going to give us the opportunity to create a new thing. And now that's bumped us up to 76. What does that mean? That means that we can now deposit all of these collectibles, and we can work with wool. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to craft all of this wool. And when you start out at the very beginning, it's going to be pretty much this exact same process, but with jute instead of wool. Or if you're doing like the weaponsmithing or armor station, you're going to be doing it with copper. And I think with copper you need to have tin to go with it. And that tin can be purchased from the master weaponsmith or armorer. But this is basically, this is it. This is crafting right here. So it's all about discovery and having the materials. So I like to just run around and do stuff in the world and just gather when I can. And then when you come back to do crafting, you can do a lot of crafting all in one go. Keep in mind also, if you're one of those people that opens up chests, as I've completely forgotten to even mention this or do this. We'll get to that in a moment once this is done. We're making a lot of thin leather sections, and we're seeing this bump up. It may even get to 100 before we're done here. So you're seeing like this bolt of wool and the cured thin leather square. These are turned blue because we're barely getting any experience from it, and then they'll turn to the light white, and then they'll turn to gray after that. So we barely get anything at all from that currently, but we are almost at 100. So we've gained over 25 levels in our crafting just here for this video. And then we've got bolts of wool, and we can make here we can make a 10 slot wool bag. Look at that, no more 8 slot. We need a minor rune of holding to do that. But so we're going to come down here, and we're going to, once again, we're going to grab these tailoring supplies, except now we can work with the ones that are level 75. There we go. And we're going to come over to the discovery, and oh, it won't let us do that because it's actually going to require that we're at 125. So let's take a look there again. Part of this is discovery for me as well, because I don't do a whole lot of crafting, but this is basically how I do crafting when I do it. And so we're going to throw that on there, and and we can't make anything with wool. All right, how do we do that? Curse you! I'm actually not sure how to get the minor rune of holding, but I was looking at that. So we're just going to skip that step, and we're going to go with... oh, we can't get the padding because we need a spool of wool thread. And now that we're done with the jute thread, we're going to move on to wool thread. As you can see, cotton thread's going to be next down that line, and so we'll spend a bit of money grabbing those, and then we can make this padding. We'll make one of those, and then we'll make the panel. And then you're going to see that you've got the padding and the panel, but we need a third thing there. And so then we're going to come down and we're going to look at the insignias. We're going to do a pillaging wool insignia, a ravaging wool insignia, and a vigorous wool insignia. And we're going to create 2 more of each of these. And so now we've got 3 panels, 3 paddings, and 3 completely different insignias. So we're going to use that with one of them. And we're going to create a new kind of shoulder. And then we're going to do it with the next one, create a new kind of shoulder. And then we're going to do it with the next one and create a new kind of shoulder. And now we've got our tailor over 100. This is basically the process that you can use in order to just keep pumping up after each level, and each level is, it's all about this discovery section. You just create as many different kinds of things as you can. Now you see all of these are gray, but we can move on to the footwear, and we'll make 3 of those. And then we're also going to go to the footwear upper, and we're going to make 3 of those. And then we're going to make, oh, we actually have the opportunity to make 4 different kinds of insignias now. We're going to do one of those, one of those, one of those, and one of those. And we'll go with, actually, we will make, I think, do we already do strong? Under shoulders? We did not. So we're going to make another one of those strong wool insignias, which required 100. That just got unlocked. That's what happened there. And we're going to make another one of those, another one of those, another one of those, and another one of those. And so now you see we've got 2 of these strong insignias and then 1 of each of these other 3. And so we're going to start with the shoulders again. Oh, these are actually all new and different because we just got to level 100 and unlocked that. So that's that. And then we can do it with, I didn't realize that we were ending up with so many souls. And so that's that. That's that. That's that. And that's that. And you basically just work through this process. It's going to be the same with almost every single crafting profession. The primary difference is that you're going to use different materials for different professions, but it's all about working in this discovery window to just sort of create every possible combination that you can with all of these different things. And yeah, I mean, that's we made all the boots that we can, and so in order to make like another hardy shoes, I've got, yeah, we've used all the parts. That's good. We're good. We're done. And that's pretty much, that's going to be your crafting for newbies. The cooking and the other stations are all pretty much identical. When you have your 2 crafting professions, you can switch between crafting professions at any time, not by going to the crafting station, but by talking to the masters. You say, hey, please teach me to be a jeweler. If you have used that crafting profession before, then it's going to cost you a little bit based upon how high you've managed to get that in the past, and I think also based upon your character's level. Since I'm level 80, everything is going to be redonkulously expensive. And so as I'm getting some of these over 100, I don't really want to hop back and forth a whole lot because it's expensive, but say like leatherworking, I've never done leatherworking. I guess I have. What level am I in leatherworking? I'm not sure. I may have done a little bit in all of these actually. And once you choose the profession, then it's going to cost you a little bit to go back to it, but you can switch to a profession for the first time absolutely free. That's the guy that I want to talk to. No, not the station, him, that person. And I'm actually not sure if I've just done all of these. I know I haven't done Huntsman, so we can verify that once and for all, but I know I've done quite a bit in the weaponsmithing. I basically went through that process the same as the tailoring, and so that's a lot more expensive. That's 13 silver in order to switch over to weaponsmithing because I've got that one a lot higher. Eventually I do plan on getting all of the crafting professions up to 400, but hopping between them regularly is not really the way to go. And I've got my Huntsman at 0. As you can see, that's 0 is 75. And if I can figure out where the Master Huntsman is. Where are you, Master Huntsman? There you are. Then we can see how much that would cost. So that's absolutely free. There you go. That's that. And what was I going to say? That was the other thing I was going to talk about is, not with you, but actually at the Huntsman station. You can access your bank from any of these stations, and if you open your I was about to say Sunlight chests, if you open your Black Lion chests, then you're going to be getting a lot of these things. And there is, which is the one? You've got your experience boosters, Karma boosters, Magic Find boosters, Rejuvenation boosters, Speed boosters, and Crafting boosters is one of the ones that you can get, where you can increase the amount of experience that you get from crafting. And that's kind of a good thing to throw on if you do what I do and save up a bunch of crafting materials and sort of all go in one go to jump it forward as far as you can. Every time you raise your crafting level, by the way, you gain a little bit of experience as well, and so that's how people level up from crafting. Gaining a crafting level gets you experience. Crafting things does not get you regular character experience, but gaining a crafting level does. And I think I think that about covers everything. Did it really? Did it really? I'm just perplexed that I've crafted at least a little bit in everything except for the huntsman. So I'm just going to double check that real quick. Where are you, leather worker?
You must visit more
Here you are,
often.
master leather worker.
Good hunting.
Yeah, he charges me a little bit, and yeah, I've got, whoa, camera went totally insane there. Good thing we had this in the way. I've got 33 points in that one. So it's free to switch if you haven't done anything in that, but it can get quite expensive if you have. So that's your thing. Yeah, so pick your two crafting professions, have fun, try it out, and it's good. It's good. I think it's a lot of fun. So there you go. I hope that's helped you if you're confused at how to start out crafting, how to get the ball rolling. And on that note, you will see me later. Bye.